Do you know, one of the easiest ways to build your child's brain is just to follow a routine. Can you believe that? It's literally doing nothing to your child. It's just creating an environment in which your child can follow a regular life. Your child can follow a routine. I heavily recommend routines to parents at my workshops at schools and corporates because it builds the brain like nothing else can. So, the first thing is that when there is a routine, your child's body and brain remain calm. Your child's body knows that I will get this much sleep, so I can relax. I have got enough sleep, so I can learn. I will get food at that time. I don't need to become cranky. So, a lot of problems that we really face in parenting with regard to learning, with regard to crankiness, with regard to tantrums can just be sorted out by having a routine. In addition, because your child has a routine, because things get done on time, your child gets scolded less. So, when things are spinning out of control, as busy parents, we do get anxious and we do shout at our children. And once we shout at our children, their learning stops. They don't learn anything academically, socially, emotionally. They get dysregulated, they cry, they throw tantrums. We feel like crying when they cry, and everything spins out of control. And this makes parenting very, very troublesome. So, if you follow a routine, you scold your child less, and that makes parenting a beautiful journey for you and a beautiful childhood for your child. In addition, what a routine actually does is it helps your child to build their memory and to build the sequencing skill of their brain. So, building the memory and building the sequencing skill of the brain is very, very important for academics. So, when your child goes to school, they need a good memory. When your child learns how to read or write, they need how to sequence things. And when your child learns math, your child again needs to know how to sequence things. When your child follows a routine, your child gets into the habit of remembering things one after the other. And this builds their memory and builds their sequencing. So they will know that, yes, after I have my milk, I go to play every day. And this builds their memory slowly. It also builds a sequencing in their brain. And last but definitely not the least, it gives your child time to be creative. So, creativity is the most important skill that children will need in the future, and creativity is actually built by having a routine. Because when you have a routine, you have time left over to do things that were not part of the plan. And creativity cannot be planned. And that is why a routine is most important for you to live a creative life and for your child to live a creative life and build their ability to be creative. Now, although a routine is so important and I recommend it so highly to every parent I consult with and meet at workshops and consultations, I have to say that following a routine is not always as easy as it sounds. Children don't listen, they want to do their own thing. We have busy lives, and that is why following a routine is really often not that simple. So, today in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips that will help you to create a routine and to follow it effectively and therefore build your child's brain. So, let's go. So, my first tip is follow a routine yourself. So, often we want children to follow their routine, but we are not following our routine. We're getting up at different times, we're sleeping at different times, we're eating at different times, meals are ready at different times. We're doing things completely out of schedule, and that then makes the child very confused about what they should be doing, and they start doing random things at random times as well. So, the most important thing, the first and most important thing that you need to do if you want your child to follow a routine is to follow a routine yourself. Have a fixed bedtime, have a fixed wake up time, have fixed times for meals, have some kind of routine on holidays and weekends as well, so that your child can also fit into that routine. So the routine cannot be the child's. You need to have a routine that serves as a scaffolding, and your child just fits themselves into that routine and therefore builds their own routine. The second tip I have for you here is that don't make the routine yourself and then order your child around. Your child will definitely not listen to your orders. Children don't like to be ordered around. They will stop listening to you, they will throw tantrums, and everything will then go haywire. The best is for you to tell your child that, look, these are the things we need to do. Now, when shall we do them? And how shall we do them? In what sequence shall we do them? So maybe you can label toys. One can be called brushing, one can be called bath, one can be called breakfast. And then you can say, okay, how much time should we give this? How much time should we give this? And when should we do this? Should we put this before? Should we put this after? When a child has a say in it, your child is likely to be happier doing it because it's something that they planned to do. Now, having said that, it's always going to be difficult to move children from something they like doing to something they don't like doing. So, if they're playing and you want them to eat, definitely they're not going to want to do that. So, it's best to smoothen out the transitions from something that they are like doing to something that they don't like doing, is to get in sync with them. So if they're playing on the floor, get onto the floor, start playing with them, and then move the game such that, hey, shall we go crawling to the table and see what's on the table for dinner today? And that'll smoothen out the transition, remove the tantrum, and help you to follow your routine. The third tip I have for you is don't overschedule your child. So don't have activities planned back to back. Children get tired when they have to constantly do things and move fast from one thing to the other. And they're then told all the time that you're getting late, you're too slow, you need to hurry up. And then they eventually give up. So give them a lot of time between the activities. Plan only one activity and then give them enough time before and after the activity to really internalize what they have done, what they have seen, what they have learned. Let them give them a chance to talk about those things, give them a chance to chill, in other words, and that is what will help them to go to the next task smoothly. The fourth tip I have for you is that give more time for each thing than you think will be required. So if you think brushing is going to take 10 minutes, give it 15 minutes. This will give you a 2.5 minutes this side, 2.5 minutes that side, to move your child from brushing to the next activity. So this is very, very important. If you schedule less time than is usually required, you will be shouting at your child. When you shout at your child, they will cry, and that's the end of the routine. The fifth tip is actually the most important tip. So, following a routine is not easy, and your child needs a reward for following the routine. What should the reward be? The reward should be that the free time that is left over because of doing things on time in the correct sequence, that free time that's left over because of following the routine should be given to the child, and the child should be told, you can do whatever you like with this time. So even when you're making the routine, sit with your child and say, okay, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. And look, at the end, we'll have one whole hour left. What do you want to do in this hour? And then, if the child says, I need to go to the park during this time, I want to play with the sand during that time, I want to sit and listen to a story, you must indulge your child and let them do what they want to do during that time. Don't stuff in another activity during that time, because activities are things that you want your child to do. I'm saying the reward for following the routine should be that your child should get to do what they want to do. So, this is the most important tip, and this is what will make your child enthusiastic about following the routine and motivated to stick to the routine every day. So, if you've been struggling to follow a routine in your house, type routine now in comments and change your parenting immediately. Always remember that, yelling, shouting, hitting are the worst ways to get anything done in parenting. It makes you unhappy, it makes your child unhappy. There's no learning, there's no growth, there is no brain development, and everything becomes worse than it can be. So, very importantly, what you should do if you really want to do the best for your child is to start parenting with neuroscience. Use the brain's capabilities. Remember that your child has an incomplete brain. Use your child's incomplete brain to build a better brain. That is what parenting with neuroscience is. I'm Dr. Debmita Dutta. I talk about parenting with neuroscience on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon when you subscribe so that you get notified whenever I post the next video. If you have a child between 0 to 7 years, I heavily recommend my course, The Parenting Blueprint for 0 to 7-year olds parents. So, this is a course for parents. It's called the Parenting Blueprint, and it's for the parents of 0 to 7-year olds. I'll put the link in comments. Do check it out, and I will see you in the next video.